That is right, you can now view your city without all of those annoying upgrade bubbles, hard hats, people coming and asking you for sales, and all that kind of stuff. Hello mares, this is Blocks, and this episode we are celebrating Earth Day in SimCity BuildIt with the latest update. We're going to explore it together, and I haven't been able to show you sneak peeks or pre-release videos in advance this time, but those videos will be back for future updates, so look out for those. So today's content, this update, I'm not too sure what it's called. Is it Earth Day Update or Apps for Earth Update? It doesn't matter, I guess. But anyway, the first thing to say is it's obviously an iOS exclusive because it's Apple that is coordinating this particular promotional campaign, the Apps for Earth promotional campaign. You've got Angry Birds and SimCity BuildIt and Heyday via Supercell and other big games and companies taking part. And there's a huge sort of conversation campaign, that's not right, a huge conservation campaign going on. It'd be really interesting to watch how this unfolds and how much money it raises. So you've got a bunch of things that you can buy in-game as part of this World Wildlife Fund exclusive update, I guess. And I'm sure we'll see some of the other features that are in this update come to Android in the future. I guess that'll be next time around, but I'm not sure. And one in particular I think you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that I'll show towards the end of the video, and that's the ability to take photos of your city, which is really cool. So let's first look at the new headline content with the parks and buildings and how you can support the campaign. So in the top right here, if we tap on the plus next to the SimCash thing, you can see the Apps for Earth SimCash pack on the right hand side there. So if you want to support the campaign, you just have to tap on the price thing there in the bottom right and go through and buy some SimCash, and you must do it through that link rather than the normal ones on the left, and 100% of that then will go to the World Wildlife Fund, which is awesome to see. So massive thanks to obviously Apple and EA and all those kind of people getting together and coming together on this campaign. So that's really really cool to see. Wow. Oh dear, I need a new commentary voice, I think. Right, so let's go and look at the kinds of things we're now going to see in game. So, parks. There are 3 new parks, and you can now build these at level 3 rather than level 4 as it used to be for parks previously. And I've noticed that all the parks now have the requirement of level 3 rather than 4, which is interesting, and maybe that's a change for the future. I'm not too sure, but it's definitely on this promotional period. So we've got the World Tree here, we've got the Old Growth Forest, and we've got the Forest Lake. Really cool. And these are the first 3 parks, or buildings at all actually, that are kind of seamless and dynamic with the environment. I'll show you those over in my demo city later on, so you can kind of get a feel for what I mean by that. Let's head now to the beach stuff. We've got the dolphin watching boat, we've got the coral reef, and we've got the whale watching tower. And then in... oh, where's this one? Let's go to the mountain next. Come on, there we go. So on this menu we've got the panda habitat, the snow leopard habitat, and the gorilla habitat. And I think all of these are coming in at 100 SimCash or less, if I'm not mistaken, but they're pretty low prices, and that obviously marries up well with if you want to spend, well, in my case here, £1.49 to get a Apps for Earth SimCash pack, and then buy one of those to sort of show your support in game or remind you of the campaign. So that's really cool, and I think the pricing is quite nicely done on that. Let's go ahead now and look at some of the features though. So the features from the new update and things you may need to keep an eye on in your city. So if we tap on the trade depot here now and we create a new sale, let's go ahead and let's say we want to sell this chair, you'll notice that the advertisement box there comes pre-ticked. It's got that yellow automatic tick in it now. So if you don't want to advertise something, if you're trading rare items with friends like the lucky cats here, you need to make sure you untick that box, otherwise they will get advertised on the Global Trade HQ and somebody else might snap them up. So watch out for that one so it doesn't catch you out. The second thing I want to show you, not a feature, but more a kind of change to the environment. And I don't know if this is short term or something we'll see for the future, but round here by the Contest of Mayors we've got more islands, and we've got what looks like sandbanks or rocks in the water here, which is really cool. So I don't know whether that's going to be something that we see as a hint of future stuff down this kind of area. And if I rotate carefully around, hopefully you can just see in the view there, yeah, in the top left, just to the left of that top left of the 37 there, you can see a little lake up there as well, which is really cool. So whether or not we're going to be able to like build maybe out past this way along this new piece of coastline or beach sometime, goodness knows, but that would be really cool to see and give us a new area to develop our city into, so it's not just in one place, which I think would be awesome, but who knows what we'll see. I certainly don't yet, but... And then we've also got this area which is underdeveloped as well, and has been kind of here for a couple of updates now. I think probably since the mountain one we had a bunch of space over here, so who knows, but I'm hoping that we'll see more space in game in future for sure. And one final feature, Mayors. If we head over to the settings menu, you can see photo sharing. A new button here, this big blue button. Let's tap it. Yep, that is right. You can now view your city without all of those annoying upgrade bubbles, hard hats, people coming and asking you for sales, and all that kind of stuff. Isn't that cool? So if you want to take a photo of a cool part of your city, maybe these little vineyards over here, we could zoom in. We'd just tap the camera icon in the bottom right, and it would then bring up a menu and allow us to save that image to our local device or share it directly. Really, really cool. So great to see all that stuff. One more thing I'll show you before we head to my demo city is something in the power menu. We have also got, I assume this is limited time as well, but I'm not certain. We've got the Earth Day solar power plant here. Capacity of 28, price 20,000 simoleons, and it unlocks at a population of 2,000 sims. Compare that to the normal solar power plants, which is the obvious direct comparison. 35 capacity, 22,000 simoleons, and requires 23,000 sims. So not a massive difference, but when you put them side by side in game... Oh, sorry about that, just had a crash in game there. I think my phone is overheating, as it tends to do when I record for quite a while. It gets a little bit hot on the back and yeah, overheats. Oh, that's a bit loud. Let's just turn the volume down a little and back up. Hopefully that won't be so loud now. Yes, so I was talking about the solar power plants. Let's go and look at those. So yeah, if you see the size of these next to each other, look, the solar power plant, the normal one there on the right hand side, is massive in comparison to the Earth Day solar power plant on the left. So it is much more size efficient, that small power plant. Look how cool that is. Really, really tiny. And they would look good together in a sort of a solar farm, I guess, as well. So that's something cool to do in your cities if you want to do that. One more thing before we head over to that demo city. You can see I've done a little bit more work since last time on my new sort of grand city avenue, the entrance to my city here. I've put in a couple of side roads, one here to sort of indicate I guess Sims or workers coming over here to the city storage area and then transporting things to maybe the trade depot or the cargo ship dock down here or that kind of stuff. And then on the left hand side we've joined up the Tokyo town zone as well, and I've popped in a couple of small fountain parks between each of these rows of trees, so every time there's two, then there's a small fountain park or a side road, and then back to two, and then another small fountain park. And I think that looks pretty good. I get the overall effect of a grand avenue into the centre. I think ideally I would have liked to not had these side roads, but I think it's okay. And I've also worked on the sort of Route 66 touristy area down here. We've got our Maxis Man statue landmark. We've got the Little Teddy Park. We've got the Spring Chick statue and a bunch of other things. And we'll extend it out this way over time as we get more cool things in game. So yeah, that's it basically for the Earth Day update. What I'll do now is swing over to my demo city and I will show you some of those parks actually in game so you can see what they look like before you decide to build one yourself. Okay then, mares, here we are in my demonstration city, and you can see some of these awesome looking new parks in the desert here, and you can start to see what I mean by sort of seamless and dynamic, because these two here next to each other, these are both forest lakes. Look at that, 1 and 2, exactly the same building, or exactly the same park in this respect, and they look slightly different, but they also blend with the environment around them. So you can see they sit in the desert environment and almost create this kind of oasis feel, which is really cool. And if we move them now, if we pick up one of these and we drag it over to here on this side of the road, you can see again you can see the square, or the rectangle, these sharp 90-degree corners of the park, yeah, before we place it down, and then we place it down and go back to the normal view of the city, and it blends into the environment again. Look at that, really cool. And it's actually changed there depending on what position it was in. So it was the small lake over on the other side, and now it's this long sort of pointy lake again. Really, really interesting to see how those sort of buildings change, and maybe that's something we'll see in SimCity BuildIt in future, more dynamic and seamless buildings. But I love the way this is worked, and how you can blend all of these different parks together. So you can have the forest lake next to the old growth forest here, and then the world tree, and yeah, they look really, really cool. So really, really pleased with those. And I'm going to say really a lot as well today, apparently. Let's head on over now to look at the mountain stuff. I've placed a couple of the world trees over here as well, next to the gorilla habitats. You can see the trees here are almost a smaller version of the world tree, which I think these are supposed to be sequoias maybe. But they look really, really cool. And you've got the gorillas there, which almost look kind of look like they've got sunglasses on. I think it must be their patterning or something, but yeah, they almost look like they've got shades on. That's really funny. But yeah, that looks really good in the sort of sitting in this gorilla habitat, nice kind of area. Then next to that we've got the snow leopard habitat. There he goes. He looks pretty funny when he moves, actually. It's quite a... Oh, is it bending down and kind of stretching? It's quite a funny movement though. Watch it when he came out of the cave. Maybe we'll go back in. Yeah, there we go, look. It's kind of like he's made out of Lego or something. His little legs move and he sort of slides back into the cave. That's kind of cool. I like that habitat as well. Not quite as inviting perhaps as the gorilla habitat or the panda one over here. It's a little bit more stark, that environment, isn't it? With the sort of the whites and greys of the snowy habitat and stuff. And on the left here, finally, we've got the panda habitat with this awesome looking waterfall. Look at that, with the spray coming off it. That's really cool. I love that. And the panda's down there on the left hand side with, I guess, bamboo around the outside, or bamboo type trees. I'm not really sure. Oh look, the panda's gone for a drink. That's kind of cool. Look at that. That's awesome. Cool. Well, those habitats are really, really nice, and you could definitely blend from the habitats into your city by placing different trees or parks and things along here. So like if we put some of the old growth forest there, and then we had some greenery in our city, it would help to blend from that mountainside down into our cities. You could put the road on this side of the parks and have it like sort of transition the environment, kind of like I did in my main city with the vineyards and stuff. So yeah, let's go and look at the final stuff, which is the beach stuff. Here we go. Yeah, that is the coral reef. So that would actually look really cool if we do get to place things down here someday, maybe along this coastline. That would look kind of cool next to all this new Contest of Mare stuff with all these little islands and things. That would look really, really nice. Ooh, it's interesting. The Contest of Mares has got a... It's normally green, that plumb bob. What's going on there? If that's a bug or something that's odd with my game. Let's just tap into it. See if it does anything. No? Oh, okay, that's a bit strange. I don't think that had changed in my other city. Maybe it's some kind of display bug. Anyway, yeah, and then we've got two more here. This is the... I placed this one down. It is the Dolphin watching boat. And I love the way this feels much more natural and beach-like. You've kind of got these rocks around the beach, and it feels like a more natural environment, which I really like about this one. And it's more like would be, well, you know, sort of good fitting with the lighthouse down here. This has always been one of my favourite beach buildings, and you can see the whale watching tower here has got those repeated rock patterns as well. I think they would look really, really cool next to each other. So let's go and have a look out here. Here is the dolphin watching boat, and there are the dolphins swimming around in the water. They look really cool. And oh, they jump. That's awesome. God, I wonder if they'll do it again. I think the boat is following them. Like one is leading the other, unless they're going in a particular pattern. Not too sure. I'll have to watch it for a bit to be certain, but they look good dead together, they do. Yeah, I really like that one. Okay, let's look at the whale watching tower as well in a bit more detail. So here's that one. You can sort of imagine Sims climbing up to the top of the tower and looking out into the ocean to find the whale, who is out here somewhere. There he is! Or she, of course. There we go. Cool. Oh, I can't see it. Oh, it's difficult at night. Let me turn the... There we go. If I turn it round a bit, you can see the whale there. That's really cool. It looks like the whale perhaps is following a preset path here, sort of skimming around the end there and then heading back to the shore. It is difficult to see on my screen. You might have to watch that one in game for yourselves. Maybe if I zoom out we can get a bit of a better look. Yeah, not too well, unfortunately. I guess it's just night time. So let's look at the buildings. There you go. Oh, and you've got Sim jogging along the whale watching path there, or just walking very, very quickly. Cool. Well, that's it for this update. That's it. We've explored everything that's going on. If you've got any ideas for my main city, because we'll be jumping back into that next episode, then do let me know. And if I haven't already mentioned it, I can't remember, if you want to find out more information about the Apps for Earth campaign that Apple are running and EA are being involved in, then you can check out Apps for Earth. Or you can head over to the World Wildlife Fund website, which is worldwildlife.org. And that's all up until the 24th of April, I think. You can buy SimCash in game. Let's just tap on it and confirm. And Earth Day itself is on the 22nd of April, and you can Google online to see about how you can support that and all kinds of things you can do. So that's going to do it this time, Mares. I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and I will see you next episode.